Good morning. I know what you're thinking. Mark, where you been? Been off the grid, dude. You're right. I have been removed from most social media platforms the last month or so because the family got hemmed up by a little COVID-19. And it's crazy because I think I know less about the whole virus now going through it than I did before we contacted it. It's a crazy subjective beast that does what it wants and treats everybody differently. That's why it's so crazy and dangerous. Anyway, back to the reason we got it. My wife and I, early July, my wife went to get a test, and she was feeling fine. She had no symptoms, but she had a test. She had an opportunity to get tested, and she did. And to our horror, she found out she was positive, but she had no symptoms. So, of course, the anxiety starts right away, and you want all the answers, and you want to know what are we in for, when's it going to be over. And the best professionals in the field will tell you they know nothing. In fact, I can quote one doctor from Beverly Hills saying it's a shit show. That was the answer when I asked, well, what is my wife in for? What are we in for? So naturally, when she tested positive, I said, I was feeling a little, when you start to get a flu and you feel it can go either way, a little low energy. I wasn't achy yet, but I was just kind of low energy, and obviously that coupled with the fact that my wife tested positive, I said, I'm going to go get the same test. So I go get tested and boom, negative. I'm negative. So this shows you how this beast moves and operates. And it's just mysterious. So I'm kind of having symptoms and I test negative. My wife has 0 symptoms and she's testing positive. Now she's immediately quarantined. And now I'm playing Mr. Mom with the kids. And playing Nurse Ratchet, taking care of my wife, because she can't touch anything. She's got to be completely quarantined, as we know the deal with that. And on top of that, taking care of the whole house, and it's a crazy thing with kids. So we got Amanda in the house. I'm feeling a little bit of the symptoms, but I just tested negative, so I'm the only upright person helping on deck here at the house. And so I was getting progressively tired. The days were getting long. It's a tough job being a mom, man. It's the toughest job in the world. So I progressively started feeling worse and worse and worse. And I finally told my wife, and she started this couple days into it now, and she started getting symptoms then. She was getting the aches. She had a little bit of fever, which Tylenol was working very well with that, combating that. Never got too high because we were on it. But she's the one who likes to see how far the fever is. She likes to be super in touch with her body and connected to it. So she was kind of laying off the Tylenol and stuff. So she got to about 101, her fever. But she was waking up in sweats and stuff like that and getting achy and a little bit of a cough. So she was getting into the throes of it. But I was also starting to get a little bit worse. She had gotten worse than I did. But I was starting to get achier and I just felt bad. And when I don't want to do any cardio, that's when I know I'm sick. So I went back a couple days later, probably 5-6 days later, and tested again. And what do you know? I'm positive. It's almost impossible to be in a house with someone that's positive and not be completely exposed to it. It's almost impossible not to get it. Now, whether you know you have it or not, that's a different story. Because like I said, this is a subjective beast and it does what it wants when it wants. So that was, so now I'm quarantined. And thankfully my wife is starting to come out the other side a little bit better. She's starting to feel better. So, I'm hemmed up. She's hemmed up. The kids are running around fending for themselves. It was a crazy time, so naturally I wasn't going to be on social media talking about One Direction and what's better, Del Taco or Taco Bell, though I wanted to. So we battled for a little bit. And to tell you what it's like, and again, I can't I can't stress this enough. Everybody's experience is going to be different and subjective. You know, sometimes a flu comes around or a virus and there's the symptoms and they know what it is and they can even name it and tell you what it's going to do. This one, you know, not to be dramatic, but, you know, people can get this and die 3 days later. People with pre-existing conditions are going to be 109, get it, and then they don't even know they have it. I mean, it's such a crazy virus. That's why 6, 7 months later, none of us have the answers. So we went through it, you know, and thankfully we've tested negative again. We've got the antibodies. So we're like in the best position you can be, ironically, after going through all that. You know, we've got the antibodies, we've tested negative, and we're through it. But it's a real thing. You know, we were being very responsible. We weren't running around. I wasn't flying. We were wearing masks, you know, washing our hands. And, you know, I travel a lot, so my hygiene game's pretty strong, you know. So we were very, very competent at what's happening and respectful of the protocol. And it entered the McGrath household. What can I say? So what I can tell you out there is it's real. It's not fun to be a part of. There's a mental part of it that's as scary as the physical part. Everybody's experience is different. And just take care of yourself. Be healthy. Be safe out there. Be smart, you know. I know it sucks for everybody. Listen, I'm going to be the last segment of this economy that goes back to work. You know, I'll be lucky if I work again in a year. Trust me. So, I understand, you know, there's Maslow's hierarchy of trying to survive and all that. There's a way to do everything in respect to the protocol and being as cautious as you can be, and also being considerate of those around you. You know, the problem is people have it and they don't know they have it, and they're spreading it. Things spreads like wildfire, as we all know. So be careful out there. I'm happy to say we're all good. We're all fine. We're probably, like I said, in the best position you can be. But it was, you know, it was a scary thing to go through, you know, because when you think about it, you know, the numbers are crazy, you know. So wear a mask, wash your hands, but most importantly, think of others. Don't think about yourself. You're going to survive it. It's those that maybe aren't as healthy as you or have pre-existing conditions that are most at risk. So just think about others, because I've been there and I'm in that position now. So I wish you all the best. Stay safe, stay healthy. And I'm grateful to be on the other end of this thing. And I don't want you guys to go through it at all. Okay? Send everybody lots of love. And back to your regularly scheduled program. Take care.